Hello everyone, the here with another video. A lot of people like manga, but at the same time, I see a lot of weebs that do not give comics from other countries a try because they think they are crap and inferior to Japanese ones. So I'll show here manhua that are not only comparable to some of the most popular manga, but probably better too. First off, we have Off Machine and Beast, and the one I'm comparing it with is Full Metal Alchemist. Pardon me if it's not too similar here, after all I only have a vague memory of Full Metal Alchemist, it's not too memorable actually. Off Machine and Beast is set in a distant world after the apocalypse. A new world emerged. In this world, with all sorts of weird creatures, there exist two types of human-like people, machine people and beast people, like the title suggests. There are appropriate names for them, but that's the basic term for them. There is a tragic underlay to life in this world for these people, which is not self-inflicted like in Full Metal Alchemist with the laws of alchemy. The machine people are not simply robotic, but they have a disease that means their limbs, organs and the rest of it are basically transformed into mechanical parts over time. So they basically live as long as they have batteries, but as they age, the disease spreads, transforming every part of their body into robotic parts, until it reaches their brain, and they eventually become mindless robots as a result. The beast people are rather similar as they from childhood grow traits from a creature, but over time these traits take over their body until they become the creatures themselves. So both are destined to lose themselves in the end, but they still live in conflict, and the balance in this case is tipped in the favor of the machines. The main character is a machine, and he's a mercenary, but through a series of events he finds himself helping the beast people in their struggle against the machines. I think the Off Machine and Beast is more interesting than Full Metal Alchemist, partially because Full Metal Alchemist is a more character-centric story, so its world is never developed by itself, and this is like most shonen manga really, but Off Machine does this at least better somewhat, and it still has a strong thematic and character-centric story filled with mystery, sacrifice and of course action that matches Full Metal Alchemist in all levels. Next we have Yang Yao, the Spirit Catcher, which I'm equating to Demon Slayer. The names are quite similar, right? Okay, they're quite different, even they do have similar elements. Spirit Catcher focuses on spirits, both ones that might be evil and others that might hold no ill will or be good. It is an exorcist series, and the main character is similarly to Tanjiro kind and understanding, but his temperament is more energetic and upbeat. He's seemingly always smiling, but he's also angered when danger comes the way of his friends. Another difference is that Yang Yao does not draw emotions from fights, but from the setup story arcs, which feature humans and spirit interacting in many ways, in a sense like Mushishi or Natsume Yujincho, at least in the beginning, whilst it sets up the stones for a wider story. Demon Slayer is simple, and its cathartic moments are usually due to the bloody fights and the deaths and sacrifices that have to be made to overcome it. Demon Slayer also does have a more light-hearted comedy moments because of the few specific characters that are more comedy driven, and Yang Yao is different. It's only light-hearted at times because of the main character's outward energetic goofiness. The dimension of these stories are different, but I feel like you'll get more out of Yang Yao than excitement, especially since the story of Demon Slayer is not exactly great. Its characters and the fights that are the main facets of the series. Yang Yao simply has more to offer than it, so give it a try. Next we have Dead Man's Undecember, which I'm equating to My Hero Academia. Dead Man Undecember is set in a fantasy world resembling ancient China, but with exorcists and demons. The main character, I should say the main characters are three different people in distinct time periods as well. What they all have in common is that they are part of the Chanzhen clan, and they have to fight against the scourge of the undead. Each character in their own time period has to basically complete their part of the deal for them to together destroy the undead. The resemblance here to My Hero Academia is the connection between the three. The first is the master of the second, and the second is the master of the third. The third cannot converse with the first, so it's only one way. The relationship is a lot more comic, especially between the first and the second, and entertaining than All Mights and Dekus, since My Hero Academia is not really comic. Its quality lies elsewhere, but I do not know where that elsewhere actually is. At first glance, This plot seems a bit too jumbled, but it works out well in the end. And all three characters have likable personalities, especially the first, which I cannot say is the case for My Hero Academia. The great strength of Dead Man's and December is its great art and the action scenes. Many of the works in this list have great art, but this work in particular stands out to me. This is the author of Ultramarine Magmel, and he really polished his craft throughout that series, so his art is excellent here. In addition, the story is simple and it is made clear at the start, but does not mean it is a straight path to it. It is focused heavily on the characters like his previous work and how mostly the second and third character survive and grow strong through a lot of hardship and tragedies. In that sense it is similar to My Hero Academia's main theme, but Dead Man has more interesting main characters. Not like anything could be worse than Deku, to be honest. He's about the shittiest character you could ever write.
Oh my god! Ouch!
Next we have 3000 Years to the Sky, which I'm equating to One Punch Man. My 3000 Years to the Sky is a novel adaptation, but it's the only one in this list. I had to include it because there is one key aspect that's very similar to One Punch Man, which is the overpowered main character and that he's bored with the way things are. Baichuran is a cultivator that has been stuck in the chi refining realm for over 3000 years, but his power is unimaginable as he is able to beat people in vastly superior realms. He's able to defeat anyone with relative ease, but he's bored. It's dynamically different from One Punch Man since the story develops with the comedy. It gradually develops a reason for the main character's absurd power and inability to break into higher realms, which leads him to the mystery of how to change his fate. Other things that are different is that Baichuran has people vying for his romantic attention, and it does develop into a harem of sorts, even if the main character is oblivious to all it all. Overall, I found this more entertainment than One Punch Man in the long run, because the story actually moves for once. One Punch Man is still way too focused on a similar joke, and whilst there are hints that a greater story will emerge, with the current pace of the manga it might take a decade for that to materialize, and I have doubts if it will be any good. Murata's skills means One Punch Man does have amazing art, which is better than My 3000 Years to the Sky, but that's not all there is to comics in the end. Next we have The Outcast, which I'm equating to Jujutsu no Kaisen. The Outcast is a funny one. It's a very popular series in China, but it has failed to grasp much readership in the Western world. It was animated back in 2016 in one of the first of many Sino-Japanese co-productions in the anime industry. Howliners, the producer, maybe in their inexperience or incompetence, probably a mix of both, decided that giving this really popular series to some shoddy studio with terrible staff was a good idea. And of course, it turned out terribly. The later seasons it received have been Chinese productions, and they improved in quality, but I still do not find them to be as good as reading the manhua. The key resemblance here to Jujutsu no Kaisen is the urban fantasy setting, with supernatural elements. The difference being that The Outcast is more geared towards martial arts and elements from Chinese culture in its fighting. And it does not revolve around the perceived conflict between humans and monsters, demons or whatever they call them in Jujutsu no Kaisen. Things move at a slower pace in The Outcast. At the beginning, Chulan's grandfather's grave is desecrated and his remains stolen, and the weird girl claims she's his lost sister. Turns out things are not quite like that and his family is not quite normal either. I believe it has more substance than Jujutsu no Kaisen, even if the story is not really that good, but that's enough because Jujutsu is not even that. Jujutsu feels like a bunch of cool dudes doing cool shit with some gore and blood splattering. For Outcast, I feel there is actually something there, not just hot air, and I recommend it. The creepy girl is actually a really cool female character, and I really like her. And the main character, whilst a bit childish at the beginning, does grow somewhat over time. Next we have 99 Ways to Become a Hero by Beautiful Masters, which I'm equating to Mato Seihei no Slave. This is another one where the series does not exactly resemble the title I'm using to equate it with, but in one aspect it does. Lucien is the main character, and being the son of the emperor, he lives his life with a hedonistic spirit, but his father forces him out in a journey to get him out of his life of luxury, so he could become stronger, and he unwillingly abides. What he did not expect was that in this journey he would be coerced, invited into becoming the disciple of 5 beautiful and extraordinary women. They saw his talent for cultivation, and his days of torturous training began. and after 5 years he returns to his father's kingdom that is falling apart due to internal strife. Hence it was time for Lu Chen to show the fruits of his training to save his father and the kingdom. This series leans heavily into the comedy too. Lu Chen is cocky after his training because he realized the weight of his own achievements, but at the same time he's quite a trickster, especially when trying to get the things he wants. He is a fun character and his fear of his masters is very funny to see. It's a sort of subservience to his masters that reminds me of Slave. Even if the series are so distinct that comparing their worth actually is not something I can really do, so I'm not really gonna say it's better or not. So we have Tiger X Crane, Record of the Demon Master, which I'm equating to Naruto. This work shares many resemblance to Naruto. The author of Tiger X Crane was definitely influenced by Japanese shonen manga of the 2000s, and Naruto is clearly one that stands out the most. Not just through hints of it in the art style, but also in the relationship between Tiger and Chi, or Crane, the two protagonists. Tiger is a short and foolish one, and he gets by through tricking people and stealing some of their food. However, he stumbles into Senior Chi, or Crane, who is a full-fledged exorcist, who captures him but begrudgingly accepts Tiger when his master sees potential in him and takes him as a disciple. Tiger and Chi's relationship develops reasonably quickly. Chi finds Tiger to be stupid and reckless, but he grows to care for him. It's very different from the stupid Naruto-Sasuke relationship that Naruto had. So I think it stands quite well alongside Naruto, and it's a better series to be honest, since it's more cohesive. Its story is simple and it has a clear thematic of Buddhism and Taoism, and the source of conflict is clearly set out as well. It's between humans and demons, even if the morality of either side is muffled at times. The art is sketchy at the beginning, but it does grow more consistent and better over time. It has basically every aspect of a shonen battle series wrapped in a package, and in regards to quality, it can stand its own against any battle shonen Japanese series, which is why it is popular in China and one of the top titles for Yoyao-chi. These are my picks for this video, at least. There are many more that I could have used if I had not limited myself to titles that are available to read in English, which restricted how many I could pick. But that was the video, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like and leave a comment with your favorite manhua or anything. Catch you guys later.